From the Ugly Parrot Studios in Newcastle, California, the Luma Cigar Cartel presents Beyond the Humidor, a cigar podcast for the rest of us. I'm very proud of you, Greg. You did not bop your head once because I was looking out of my peripheral saying, don't you fucking dare.
I can give you a little bit of credit. Now, the outro might be different, but at least the intro, we're not messing that one up.
Another day, another episode. Scott Robinson with you for another episode of Beyond the Humidor. Gonna go around the room. We've got a guest today.
One of my favorite people.
God damn it, can I talk?
No.
Jesus Christ.
Yes, my son.
Fuck.
Dude, it's like, what am I, a fucking mirage?
Well,
the light's on. You can't fake that one.
no, you're right.
Audience, the sound you're hearing is the camera gorilla beating his head against the microphone.
What the hey, man? Anyway,
So
we have shut up. We have a repeat guest, one who's always welcome, but we're gonna go around the room first to see how everybody's doing. Since Greg is so mouthy, we're gonna skip his ass. Hey, Gorilla, over in that gorilla enclosure. How you doing there, buddy?
I swear to God, if Greg said another word, I was going to throw something at him. I swear to God. Gorilla's good. Trying not to pass out. I had a burrito at a New Mexican place today, and when it came out, I'm like, this was a mistake. It was about 3 times the size as I was expecting.
Okay, Gorilla, you just gave me a beautiful idea, and it's going into the Beyond the Humidor budget, sponsored by Good Dog Voiceover Productions. I'm going to get you a series of beanbags or rocks, and whenever he says something, just hurl them at him. And then we just put something up saying, brought to you by Good Dog VO Productions.
You realize...
Larry, sir, do you need one less son?
Hey, here's the thing, man. His eyesight is not so great for him catching shit, but he can throw pretty well. I'm just saying.
I was about to say, you assume I'd only be throwing them at Greg. Interesting. Our poor guest is like, what the fuck did I sign up for?
But bullshit. He's been here before. He knows what a shit show this is.
Black man and alcohol involved. How did you think this was going to go? Oh my God. Hey, Larry, how you doing?
Almost fabulous. Jesus Christ.
Have you adopted fabulous in the Larry Marlotte lexicon now?
Fabulous. There, you happy?
No.
It's a fabulous day.
Hey, well, get happier, goddammit. It's going to be a long show.
Oh, yeah. All right. Teetotaler to my left. How you doing?
Good. The holidays are finally here. My second favorite holiday is upon us, where I get to eat and not care how much weight I gain. It's a good day, especially with one of my favorite people being here today.
Oh, that's...
Thank you, Greg.
So, yeah, as Larry said, this is going to be one of those episodes. So, without further ado, allow me to introduce our guest, my mentor, my buddy, my brother, host of KFBK's The Pat Walsh Show. Also has a new podcast, Pat's Peeps. Let me introduce the one, the only, Pat Walsh.
Hey, guys.
Woo!
Thank you for inviting me to be on the... This is the second time I've been on this podcast. Mm-hmm. I guess you can curse on the podcast. Huh?
Yes, you can.
Real quickly, that you can actually curse on these things. That's pretty good.
There is no FCC fucks given.
Yeah, right.
Now, I will clarify, this is your second and a half appearance. My favorite appearance of Pat is as audience member in a previous episode where occasionally you just hear from the back of the shop.
I didn't know that. Was I in the? Yeah. I was in the gallery back there.
You came into the shop after a concert.
Oh, okay.
I remember that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I think we even got him behind the mic for a minute or two, too.
Oh, is that right? So, okay, 2.5 appearances.
The first half of the show, you're just cracking up at these guys, and you can just barely hear you, and it's great.
So I was telling my wife the other day that Scott has been on your program a couple of times and doing some stuff with you.
Yeah.
And I go, Greg does the baseball prediction show and been on there. She looks at me. She goes, You understand you're never going to be able to be on Pat Walsh's show, right? I'm like, what the fuck is that supposed to mean? She goes, that right there. She goes, Pat can't take the FCC hit that would be necessary to have you in a chair on his show. I'm like,
Pat's poor producer's going to be over the dump button like this the whole time. Like,
yes,
you know,
It won't be Pat's producer. Pat will be over the dump.
It'll be Pat and the producer. Your finger's going to be sore. You're going to be like at the end of the show going, ow.
Yeah, you can only dump so many times.
It's going to be like they're playing Family Feud, you know. Top 4 answers on the board. Wham! He's out of here. Fucking guy.
Dude, if I can do it, you can do it.
Really, have you heard me in my general's conversational speech?
No. I have, and that, you just have to throw caution to the wind. I think I just wait. Let me see if I can sit 5 minutes with Larry. If I don't hear that, then there is a possibility.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll see.
But it's part of your charm, really.
Yeah, let's go with that.
It's not part of the FCC's charm, but it's certainly part of yours.
And just put a silhouette.
I was told to ask a couple of things, and I love your shop, by the way. Can I say that we're at what'd you call it, the Ugly Parrot?
Ugly Parrot Studios.
Ugly Parrot Studios. I was told that the sign says that you sell craft beer here. Is that true, or?
No, we made a craft beer sign for Infusion Tap Room there in Lincoln, if you see that.
Perhaps you were serving up some craft beer. But you have served up some scotch.
We did scotch you up, sir.
I have not. It's been a long, long time since I've indulged in scotch.
Clink, sir.
So I wanted to give this a try. So I just want to say thank you, guys. And thank you for having me on your show.
Absolutely. We are enjoying some Macallan 12 double cask. Good stuff.
That's one of our favorites here on the show.
Why are you not drinking any, Greg?
You know the routine.
Yes, no, maybe.
As a guy who likes Irish whiskey, it's a lot different than Irish whiskey, It
is.
I think it's somewhat of an acquired taste. It's not bad, though.
No.
It's better than I was expecting, I have to say.
So let's get into the meat of the show, as Greg would say. Let's talk about cigars. So let's talk about cigars. Greg, what's on the agenda? Because you were all eager yesterday. You wanted to drop a hand grenade in our laps.
I do have a hand grenade to drop in our laps, and it's all the even better now that Pat's here too. But anyway, we'll get to that in a minute.
All right, well,
so today's cigar, obviously sponsored by Foundation Cigar Company. He doesn't even know he did that, but he is. Last show, as you know, we talked about the Charter Oak Pregatio. I already forgot how we said it, but it was the Connecticut shade of the new Charter Oak series. Sorry, Nick. Today, this one I can actually
Paragante.
Get right. That's actually, I think, pretty close. So today we're smoking the Pascual. It is the second one in the Charter Oak release series. It is their Maduro. Funny that it's a Connecticut broadleaf wrapper that has been Maduroed. Its binder is a Jalapa, Nicaragua tobacco. Filler is Esteli and Jalapa, Nicaraguan. It's nice and sweet. Again, it's a 5.5 by 48 soft box press in a 12-count box. You can see it in the corner over there for those of you that watch the YouTube channel. Thank you, Vanna. It's a great stick. I smoked it the other day because I wanted to, and I bought the box. And it'll be interesting to see what you guys think as we go through the series here. Pat, I know, is not typically normally a Maduro smoker. So I did get him out of my gigantic stash of cigars. Pat loves the Gurkha brand. It's one of his favorites. So that one is the barrel aged from Gurkha. And it's a really great stick too.
No, those are awesome. I like
that's
those.
A great cigar. Mm-hmm. Can I ask you a question? What does it mean when you say what you said? It was Maduroed. Did you say that?
Yes. So
what does it mean that it was Maduroed? The
Maduro is a process by which you get the darker wrapper leaf. They ferment and age the tobacco in such a way that it darkens and gets a very rich, more moody. That's not really a good way to describe it. It gets a richer, deeper flavor to it. And, for these two, it's a go-to for them. They'll smoke a Maduro quite often. For me, it's a once-in-a-while thing. But
well, and that's I was going to ask what was different about this
the Maduro
compared to some of the Maduros that we've had recently. And it's because this is a Jalapa that's been aged out to Maduro, right?
It's the broadleaf wrapper, but the binder and filler are both the sweet Jalapa leaf.
This is really different than anything I smoked in quite a while in a Maduro. Box press is kind of rough, but
Yeah.
No, this is really good, and it's different. I mean, it's got a lot of flavor on the light initially, but it's a different taste than what you'd typically expect from Maduro. Would you agree, Scott? I know you're just getting it fired up.
On first light, real unique, because when I took the initial draw, I can't place the flavor to it, but it's really different. I expected something with a little more punch. But again, as we've beaten this dead horse constantly on the podcast, today's Maduros are not about strength and punching you in the face. They're really concentrating on flavor. And this is no exception.
Think of, like, for me, it's more of like a sweetened espresso. Is kind of what I get out of this one.
I don't get so much the sweet, but the espresso for sure.
Yeah.
And look at how much draw you're getting out of this. This is not a large ring gauge cigar by any means. This is on the smaller side for even box press, and this thing is pulling a ton of a smoke out of it. And even the Gorilla, what the Gorilla's pulling through it, and you guys are pulling. This is a really good stick. I'm really happy with this.
Yeah, I like this.
When you say it doesn't punch you, it's not the goal anymore. It's all about the flavor. Was that part of it at one point? Is that the strength of it? That's why I can't smoke that cigar like that. It's just the strength.
Remember the chisel, the LFD chisel?
Right.
That one was just basically it just grabbed you by the throat. First draw, it's got you by the throat. It's going to keep grabbing you by the throat until you puke if you smoke it too fast.
Right.
Well, and there was, for a while, that was kind of the norm for the Maduros and the double Maduros and stuff. We've talked about it before on the show. Christoph has a triple Maduro that, it's a strong cigar. It's a lot of cigar. You don't smoke that on an empty stomach. It's very powerful. Camacho has some Maduro stuff that's really strong. Some of their older Maduro. Now, some of the newer stuff they're coming out with is a lot more flavor forward than power forward, and that's what we're seeing a lot of in a lot of the Maduros we're trying now. So if
someone like me who doesn't really smoke a strong cigar because of those reasons, would that be something that I could try and think maybe that's okay?
Yeah,
for me
you
to
could
at least try
definitely
that?
look into something. Even for you, Pat, where you don't smoke Maduros really. Even if you were going to pick up something in a newer line or something that's more recently released, do that after a meal.
Yeah.
Don't be smoking that on the way to work.
Right.
That's not your forte there. But yeah, there's some really great Maduro stuff out right now.
And Larry, for one, I think a good one for him to try is that Christoph Cameroon Perfecto. I think that would be a great intro to something a bit stronger.
Yeah, and Room 101
yes,
has a Maduro too. I'll look and see in my Room 101 stuff if I still have any of those. I'll get you one, because they're you get that dark, rich flavor that a lot of people are looking for in a Maduro, but it just doesn't hit you that hard.
Because I'm, as a guy that doesn't smoke those, I always wondered about the flavor of these. I'd like to try that flavor, but without getting that, as Scott says, getting that punch in the face like that.
Right.
And that I think that's really one of the best things that come out recently, and it is for flavor. The Maduro leaf has totally expanded because of what they're doing.
Yeah, and it's somebody they took a leap and said let's blend this more for a flavorful stick. Then naturally we get the phone call in the middle.
Let Pat answer it.
Yeah,
I think they're calling to ask about your custom holiday cutouts.
Jackass.
Okay, hang on.
Oh yeah, the Gorilla's got a picture of the custom holiday cutouts. We are doing the show from the service bay of my shop. So,
yeah, we got the trifecta. We got the custom holiday cutouts, the phone call, and the compressor.
The only thing we were missing was a train going by.
Oh, just wait.
Or a Harley tearing around.
Or some guy driving by your shop honking his horn twice every day.
We haven't quite started recording early enough to get you honking it. I'm waiting for the day.
There goes our buddy Pat Walsh. Walsh. So yeah. What's this grenade you're throwing in the pond here?
So I think this is actually.
Hold. What is the Walsh smoking?
We
talked about that.
I'm sorry.
The Gurkle
You know
barrel
what?
aged.
You know what? You know what? You know why I was distracted? Because I was moving the camera because once we got started and Pat relaxed and he was turning his chair, he was going out of frame. So I
Trying to spare everyone.
It looks like you were trying to escape, and we really want the audience to know he is here of his own free will.
Hey,
right?
Hey.
He's blinking in Morse code.
Help me.
So I think,
Apologies.
this is actually one of the more fun shows for Pat to join in on because we're going to turn Scott loose in a little bit here with his conspiracy theory list and turn this into the show that follows the Pat Walsh Show on iHeartMedia, available everywhere, including on the app.
Wow.
So
George
real quick
Norrie.
though, that's it. Yes, George Norrie. And so real quick, I want to thank Derek. As you guys know, we talked about an email that Derek had sent us last episode, and he says, "Well, it was a surprise by episode 103. Thank you for the shout out."
Hey, it's at least
What are you knocking on the door? Oh, shit! I'm smoking the wrong cigar.
Holy crap.
I'm looking at the freaking ashtray.
Hang on.
It's on your side.
Hang on.
It's literally on your
No, we're gonna get another close up
I've
video.
been waiting for this day for 40 episodes.
It's like, I'm looking, it's like, your cigar is over there. I've got a blank space. I'm not a crazy person.
Well, we'll find out later, folks.
So what is this? Pass your cigar to the left?
Yes, everybody pass the cigar.
You're gonna get a Maduro today, whether you like it or not.
So anyway, back to Derek's email.
Please continue.
So he says, I hope you all enjoyed the questions and the discussion. We did. Thank you. I wanted to let you know that I did finally get my contributions to y'all shipped off. We appreciate that. Larry received them the other day, and that will be for a future episode coming up in the next few weeks. Related to the episode, I'd be interested if y'all's take on some conspiracies. Looking forward to that episode. Guess what? It's this one. Your conspiracies, though, Derek, just to let you know, I'm going to hold for another show because we need to research these. I've never heard of any of these, except for one.
Well, we got to bring them up. You've just teased it, so you've got to bring it up.
So we're going to bring them up.
We're going to explore these.
But before I bring those up real quick, let me say this, and this is directed at Larry. For the record, let Larry know I'm not really a little guy. I'm close to Scott's size, smiley face, but it's all good.
I knew it. I knew as soon as he said it, I'm like, we're going to get an email about that.
What are you, a little feller or something? I don't know.
What else does our little Texas fella have to say?
There you go.
And by the way,
He says howdy. Of course he does.
by the way, Derek, if you have a computer and a set of headphones with a mic on it, we can have you guest on the show.
That may be a bigger leap than you're willing to take there, buddy. I'm just
why
saying.
not? So,
And hey, hold on. If he guests on the show, if we have you on the show and you're not eating a water booger, fuck you.
here comes another email.
Hey, if this guy's from Texas, born and raised in Texas, he eats Whataburger. I'm just saying.
You say Whataburger?
Whataburger.
Oh, I thought you said something
It's
else.
a restaurant.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you said something else.
Not quite as good as our In-N-Out.
Oh, now we're getting two emails.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
I've eaten at a Whataburger in Arizona.
Okay, if he shows up on the show, we're all going to sit here and eat In and Out while we do the show.
Oh.
I'm in. I'm a fat guy. Why not? So some of the conspiracy theories that he has introduced here. Pandas aren't real.
Okay.
Oh boy.
I'm behind that with him. I think pandas are just
Chinese intelligence operatives.
there could be that. I think they're just them dirty ass white bears.
Then what are polar bears?
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's just a dirty polar bear.
The places,
Look at Pat.
the places I
be
could
on this
take that
motherfucker again.
somewhere in the Arctic cold, deep, deep, deep. Probably next to the Nazi base in Antarctica, there's a group of polar bears that can talk or are saying, polar bears are the result of race mixing.
So I'm going to piss two people off here by being the actually kid. Polar bears aren't in Antarctica, actually. They're only in the North Pole. The other thing is, dirty polar bears do
Thank
exist.
you, Marlon Perkins.
Dirty polar bears exist. They've started breeding with grizzly bears. So you'll get like it looks like a cow. It looks like a brown and white cow.
You got a mulatto bear?
Serious?
This is bad. Derek,
I'll throw a picture on the episode. Yeah.
Derek, do you see what you started, Derek?
Beaver break, please. Beaver break.
Oh, we already have a panda break, grizzly bear break. We got it. We broke 7 times this episode already.
Okay.
All right, what's next?
Nanotech smart dust is real. Then I've got another one, Rod of God.
Oh, Rod of God. Okay. No, keep throwing them out.
Voice of Skull Tech.
Okay, that's
Voice to Skull Tech.
okay.
I got to be able to read it right. Smithsonian covered up remains of giants.
Giants is a whole rabbit.
Coming up on stuff you've looked at.
Hang on.
No.
Giants is a whole web of conspiracy theories because it. Don't ask me how I know all this. Giants. It has a whole web, and it starts from the Bible. I think giants are mentioned. The Nephilim or something is what they're called in the Bible, and it goes off on this whole like ancient aliens crazy trip.
So we need to get the guy with the wacky hair, or Larry needs to do his hair differently for that show.
The aliens guy, yeah.
Yeah, you're a funny guy.
And then it ties into Bigfoot and shit. It's a whole thing.
And then I've got World's Fairs and Orphan Trains.
All right, hey, well, let's go back to that.
What?
Let's go back to that Rod of God thing. Okay. Derek, you're Methodist, aren't you?
No.
No? Okay. Orphan trains. Orphan trains was a thing.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
So actually-
you're pointing at me, and I know they can't see you.
So shout out! He's in town visiting family from Kansas. My buddy Ethan, who I do the MASH podcast with, he lives in a town in Kansas that has the Orphan Train Museum. What essentially he explained to me back in the early 1900s, a bunch of the big cities on the East Coast had a bunch of poorhouses and orphanages. So the muckety mucks of the city said, you know what we'll do for these poor, starving orphan children? We're just gonna ship them out to the middle of the fucking country. No joke. They just shipped a bunch of orphan kids out to families in the Midwest and Kansas, Oklahoma.
We got somebody to plow our field now and feed our horse.
Yeah. No shit. No, 100%. I'll have to ask him more about it. That he was gonna. Eventually, I'm gonna road trip out and see him. And there's that, and then there's the biggest American POW camp was in just up the road from his town. Yeah, 4,000 German prisoners of war were in Concordia, Kansas, and they let him out to work the fields. Yeah, and you know why they put it in Kansas? Good luck getting to a fucking ocean to get home, dude. They had like one escape once. He made it like 3 fields over, and he went, "This was a mistake. They're feeding me here."
When was this?
1940s.
Yeah, World War II.
World War II.
Okay, the last one that Derek sent us, and this I've never heard of, so this will be new for me. We'll have to look this up. Bach Saga. He says this one's a trip.
The Box Saga.
Yeah, BOCK. I don't know either.
I don't know either.
So before we turn Scott loose on his conspiracy theories that he's got lined up for us, there was something said in my place of employment yesterday that I wanted to get everyone's feedback on, and it is a come as your nationality Thanksgiving dinner.
Okay, hang on.
Wait a minute. You mean like bring something?
No, come dressed as your nationality Thanksgiving dinner. So what comes to me is Scott dressed in a Maasai robe with a long walking stick, things like that.
Oh, you mean to beat you to death with?
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't think I have any overalls my size.
See, so we used to do something like this. I think we did it in 3rd grade, where it wasn't come dressed as your, because that was a mistake, but it was bring a food that your family makes that's from, you know, your ethnic background. We, you know,
Your traditional
your traditional
feast.
Thanksgiving feast. That's where I had potato latkes for the first time that were fucking awesome. And then one of the girls, her grandma was first generation from either Ukraine, one of the Eastern European countries. They brought goulash, like homemade goulash, and it was one of the best fucking things I'd ever had.
Yep.
It was so good.
There was just the thing I was telling these guys when we were getting set up, and I don't know the name of the comedian. I've seen a couple of clips from him. Mexican guy, probably about my age, and he's talking about the hell was that? Oh, it was the bottle opening. I should have known.
Again, it's Mexican comedian, late 60s. Go ahead.
He fits right in. I love it.
Mexican comedian, late 60s. Cocksucker wearing a Ram shirt talking shit.
Hey,
Okay.
Oh, here
that's
we
why I'm
go.
not sitting next to you that close to you.
Stop it, you savage. If you slide over, they can't see my hand on your leg because of the table skirt.
You know you like this sweatshirt.
Yeah, I love that sweatshirt. What the hell is that feedback? Oh,
That was the lighter.
that's Fucko over there lighting a cigar. Okay. No, this guy, man, and he's talking about, he goes, look at this place. And he's like, I don't know, some theater in Austin or something. Look at all these Chicano women here. Look at it. Man, this is a good group. Not one of you made tamales for Christmas. He goes, we're losing our identity. He goes, not one of you made tamales. He goes, that recipe died with Arbolita. He goes, she's laying there in a casket. She's got flowers on her chest, and all the cousins are standing around. Did you learn? I didn't learn. Did you learn? What the hell are we going to do for our Christmas tamales? And he goes, we're going to buy them like white people. I'm like, Jesus. So that's what I thought of when you said our ethnic, bring your ethnic foods for the holidays.
Didn't Raul and Linda give us some tamales one year?
Yeah.
Dude, they were oh my God.
Yeah, that was when we lived in Lincoln. Yeah,
That and the corn guy.
Yeah.
I know. I think we've talked about the corn guy on the show before.
In Lincoln, we used to have a little guy that pushed like a little ice cream cart around, and it was the corn man.
Oh.
And it was corn on the cob.
Sweet steamed corn.
Sweet steamed corn. And it had mayonnaise and
Parmesan and chili powder.
Yeah, Parmesan and chili powder.
Best
you're
damn
looking-
thing.
You're looking
Mayonnaise?
Yeah.
Okay, it sounds crazy.
Yeah, it does.
But it gives one, you have to have something for the Parmesan and chili to stick to, and it's sweet and a little tangy from the dude. I did the same
It's a
thing.
pretty incredible idea to push it on a corn cart.
When I was like 8 years old, they told me what it was, and I'm like, ugh, dude, no.
Okay.
Tasted it. From that day on, every summer, maybe twice a summer, he'd come around.
Yeah, 2-3 times.
And you'd hear him. He had the little bicorn. You'd hear him 3 streets over. It's like, stop everything, get out of the pool, get your clothes on. We're going out front.
That's funny. When we were kids, we wanted ice creams. You guys want hot mayo. Things have changed over the decades.
We need to get your white ass some elote.
That's a wrap, man. Play the outro.
Take me home.
Country road. Oh. All right. So is that the end of Derek's?
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
But Derek, we do generally appreciate. Thank you for reaching out all the time and continue to do so.
Scott, you got Google on that thing right there?
I do.
Look up Van Horn, Texas, and see how many people live in this town, would you?
Well,
That's where this cat's from.
hang on. I'll look that up while Scott does his best George Norrie impression and talks about all the conspiracy theories he brought for us.
Yeah, I want to hear these.
No. See,
Oh, wait a minute. Walsh has got to have some conspiracy
Hold on
theories.
now.
For
Hold
Christ's
on.
sake, he's Irish.
okay.
You know, I mean, Jesus.
Hold on now. Now, George Norrie's cool, but I'm an Art Bell guy.
Oh,
Old school Art Bell.
yeah.
Transmitting from his place in Pahrump, Nevada.
What?
His bunker.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, yeah. 12 o'clock midnight down in Southern California. That came on.
Pirate
midnight.
radio.
That's right. And he would give you all the skinny on all the conspiracy theories. Now, being that it is the Thanksgiving. Yes, sir.
1 second. To answer Larry's question, 1,946 people.
Bullshit, that comma's in the wrong place. That's 190 fucking people in that town.
There's more people that went to my high school than are in that town. Just saying.
All right. So allow me to set this up. Being that it is the week of Thanksgiving, by the time this comes out, you will have been stuffed with turkey and it have been coming out the other end. You will have leftovers.
Man, why?
Turkey. You're going to have turkey hash, turkey cacciatore, ham, and if you are one of the lucky people,
Hot
you will
turkey
have
sandwiches.
Yeah, made with homemade rolls from scratch.
Turkey
Kiss
tamales.
my white ass, Mr. Robinson.
And it all comes out as turkey loaf.
Indeed.
With hot mayo.
Pat Walsh, ladies and gentlemen, still here.
Weekday night, 7 p.m.
So, if you have a big Thanksgiving event with the family, I don't. Not since 2016, but that's
here we go.
story.
Come on.
No, that's another story.
Not since the incident.
That's true. So,
The restraining order prevents it.
no, my good fucking sense does. But anyway, everyone's got that one relative. That one relative who has a story on how the world works. And it's usually pretty strange and pretty fucked up, but it's entertaining to listen to at the Thanksgiving dinner table. So in the spirit of that, we are going to talk about the top conspiracy theories that people actually believe now, here in 2023. Let's start with the most common one and chime in if you'd like. Number one, the top one, that is, the moon landing was fake.
What, didn't Futurama prove that was wrong?
That's a cartoon, dude. Relax.
Yeah. We're talking conspiracy theories.
So, you channel your inner Neil deGrasse Tyson, and some of the reasons they give is flag was moving in the wind on the moon. Of course, there is no atmosphere on the moon. There were no stars in the sky and misaligned shadows.
This is all you got, man?
No. Let me go on. So the argument is that the CIA and NASA staged the moon landing and has protected the secret ever since. Here's my thing, and this is, again, chime in if you wish. The CIA has not been real good at keeping secrets.
Ever?
And some of their intelligence gathering, I have questions. I.e., you ever heard the story of how they tried to kill Castro? They were going to put cyanide in his daily milkshake. So they had the cyanide tablets, the hotel that made his milkshakes. They plopped it in there and mixed ice cream and the milk together. The cyanide tablet wasn't melting. Why would it melt? Because everything's fucking frozen. That's one of the ways they tried to kill him.
They're going to try to sneak an exploding cigar in his cigars. There was a whole bunch. As for the moon landing, you know what the biggest one that proves to me that we did go to the moon? If we went to the moon, we were televising it, right? That signal was coming back to Earth. That's an open signal anyone can chime into if you have the right equipment. Who in the 1960s would have the biggest benefit to proving the United States didn't go to the moon?
Russia.
If we didn't go, why didn't they say anything? It'd be the biggest fuck you to capitalism. So the fact that Russia didn't be like, no, we proved you not go to moon, you capitalist shits. The fact that we didn't get that announcement from the Kremlin.
Was that Boris Badenoff?
It's something. I love
That was pretty fucking good, Yuri.
I learned my Russian accent from Sean Connery. I got Craig. Yes. What did you do? You Sparuskin? Okay, Scottish guy.
We will be back after this beaver break.
Sean Connery break.
One ping, Vasily.
One ping only, please.
No, the fact there's a whole bunch of other reasons, but yeah, we went to the moon. We went to the moon, and we're going back to the moon. I was talking to my buddies about this day. How are people not excited that we're going back to the moon and planning to go to Mars?
Well, if you believe Elon, we're going to the Mars in like a year.
No, they NASA launched a year ago today. I saw the post. They launched the biggest rocket to ever lift off the planet. a year ago, the Artemis rocket that's going to take another set of astronauts to the moon. I think that shit's cool as hell.
Me too.
It's so cool. I remember we were watching, it was right when COVID hit, and they sent the first set of astronauts to the ISS using SpaceX's recoverable boosters, the ones that can land themselves and be reused. My dad, you know, the asshole that he is, I love you. You know, I'm watching it. My mom and I are watching it. He's going in and out. It's a Saturday doing stuff. And I said, oh, watch it. They're going to launch this rocket. And he's like, oh, whatever. Genuinely, I think you were surprised. I'm like, okay, watch the two boosters that came off. They're going to land themselves. They land themselves. And I think you kind of went like, holy shit. Like you were actually kind of surprised. Like, holy shit. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, you got to remember my time frame for my age group. We saw the shuttle blow up on live TV, man.
Yeah, we did.
Challenger.
Yep.
I mean, that was live television. Like, oh shit! How do you explain this to the class?
That's right.
That's another. It's not really a conspiracy theory. If you look into the shuttle program, you lose a lot of respect for NASA. Like they really fucked up the shuttle program. One of the NASA engineers said if we didn't have the shuttle program, we would have been on Mars by 2000. The shuttle program distracted them so much and it funneled so much money into a program that was more vanity than actual science. I love this shit, dude. It's so cool to me.
Jesus Christ! Look what you did.
I'm sorry.
All right, what else you got?
Okay. I love this one. The moon is not real. We need Gorilla Cam. Damn it, I gotta get that Gorilla Cam.
I'll do it louder for the audience.
All right, what's the basis?
It's a projection. So every night at some secret base in maybe Pahrump, maybe somewhere in Casper, Wyoming, I don't know, there's a projection and you see a projection of the moon.
How stoned do you have to be
To believe this?
to come up with this theory? I mean, like, how stoned are you? You think someone out there with a projector is getting up every day? Now, how long has the moon been around again? I'm sorry. Are they taking shifts over the decades and generations?
Oh, shit. There's one family.
Who's trying to run the projector?
It's like that one family in China that's had that hotel for 183 generations.
What's happening here, man?
It's like, what do you do for a living? I was born into the moon family.
Oh my God, I've never heard that one before.
No, I don't have to go to college, man. I'm built right in, man. I get up every night. I flip the switch. The fucking moon goes up. I flip the switch. You know, I eat dinner, flip the switch. The moon comes down. That is the dumbest shit I have ever heard you say.
It's like
Back in '87, Dad accidentally put in a copy of Some Like It Hot, and people got really confused, but we covered that up. It was all right.
Oh my God.
Understand, these are not my theories. I just saw these on the internet,
Right.
pulled them up for your entertainment. I'm not sitting at the dinner table. We're not going to be sitting up Thursday going, you know the moon's not real, right?
Yeah, you better not, motherfucker. I'll tell you what.
Oh, bullshit. You'll be sitting there like, you're full of shit. Cast me another roll.
That's it. I'll be 4 rolls deep. You can say whatever the fuck you want. Your house, your theory. I'm going to wave to the moon on the way out. We'll be all good.
That's his micronation, remember?
Oh, there we go.
Oh, that's another episode. Let's not get off track here. Now, have you heard of this one? The Denver International Airport is the headquarters of the Illuminati.
Fucking Pat. All right, Pat. Roll.
Sorry, I forgot we're on mic.
That's okay.
That was my reaction too. Again, these are not my theories. I am sharing them with you. This is what crazy people think now in 2023. This is not me. I don't want to get email going, Scott's fucking nuts, man. Have you had him checked? God, being unemployed for 9 months has really done things to him.
And to answer your question, yes, we've had him checked.
And to answer your further question, we'll see if he's still employed once the show airs.
So once again, some of you have been through the Denver International Airport. Do you know what some of the bases for this claim are?
I don't know about the Illuminati, but I know they only got one son of a bitch working on that remodel part-time.
You'd think
They've been working at that fucking airport for like 15 years.
You'd think the Illuminati'd have a bigger budget.
Well, I know there's one theory, not just the Illuminati, but there's also a theory that there's a secret government base built underneath Denver International Airport.
That's more believable to me that they'd have an underground, because they have underground complexes all over the damn place.
Well, hence the Illuminati.
Cheyenne Mountain.
Yeah, Cheyenne Mountain. There's one somewhere on the West Coast too. I don't know where. But
See,
Probably under
I think the secret government base is under the Florence Supermax in Colorado. Right there, yeah.
You been there, Robinson? Shh.
You been to the Supermax?
no, I know some of the.
Is that what that ankle monitor is?
I know some of the theories are like there's like a weird mural, and I'll throw pictures of it up. There's like a weird mural in the Denver International Airport that's very kind of end of days imagery to it.
Have we missed said mural?
Probably. I'll pull up a picture of it. It's a really, if you've seen it, you'd remember it because it's got like a soldier and a gas mask and a rainbow and children. It's super trippy. But also,
that's what was behind us when they were stealing your lighter out of your bag.
Oh, those fucks. Okay, I get it.
The big one that everyone points out, which this is just a dumb design decision. I don't know how no one caught this. If you look at the Denver International Airport from a Google aerial view, you can't really ignore it. The runways are laid out like a fucking swastika. They just are. Don't know why someone thought that was a good idea. From an aviation standpoint, it shouldn't matter, but they look like a fucking swastika, dude. Pat's looking at me like I'm crazy.
Okay, I need to see the Jepson chart on this.
All right, what else we got, man?
Wow.
Okay, this one I don't even want to entertain. The world is flat. Flat
Waste of
Earthers.
time.
Waiting for this one.
That's a waste of time. I'm not even entertaining that with a response, or even we're not even bringing it up. Fuck it.
That's people in the Midwest. I'm just going to say it.
Now,
They got two broken wagon wheels out by the mailbox. That's why they think that, that's as far as they could get. Nobody set out for Enid. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a shit where you're coming from. You did not go to Enid.
all right, Greg, this one's for you. King Charles is a vampire.
Very likely. That's believable.
Honestly,
looks like he's been dead
Have
for
you
50
seen
years.
him
honestly,
recently?
I'd believe that before the moon's a projection.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's leading the pack right now. I'm just saying.
So okay, I love this. See, the audience doesn't get to see this, but this thing says King Charles is actually related to Vlad the Impaler, who was the inspiration for Bram Stoker's Dracula. No, they're not related that way, but okay.
See, I knew I'd get the fucking Anglophile into this. Look at him. He's all smug now. He's like, ooh, I got a treasure trove of information for this. Tell us more, Greg.
Read the next one. It
No,
says
you
what?
read the next one. Fuck you. Hey.
I can't read the disease.
Hold on. Time out.
Time out.
Greg, can you pull out your English family tree and let us know why he's not related to
I have
Vlad? Why he is not related to Vlad the Impaler?
Yeah, Vlad didn't have any children, but anyway.
He's going to pull out his family tree. Can he do it after I leave?
But to be fair, that's one of those. Ignoring the vampire part. Is he related to Vlad the? Oh boy,
Go ahead.
is he related to Vlad the Impaler? That's one of those a lie with a grain of truth because
Oh my God.
the royal family was related to fucking everyone. The Romanovs were related to Victoria. They were.
The Romanovs, yeah, Victoria had 6 or 7 children and married them off to half the royal houses in Europe.
They were all.
But Vlad was well before
what have
that
I
time
done?
period.
I don't know. I hate the Royals. Stop it. This is the most Royals talk I've ever had.
Did you know season 6 of The Crown came out?
Oh, God, no.
I finished it already. Anyway,
Good God.
so I love the next one too.
Go on.
Okay, yes.
Bigfoot.
No, you missed the second.
Oh, you
part
want
of
the
that.
disease that I can't pronounce?
Porphyria.
Porphyria. Yeah, no. Anyway,
What's that?
So-
The fear of being English?
If only.
that's called patriotism.
Wow. We're just joking, our friends across the pond.
No, we're
No,
not.
we're not. Fuck you, people. Look, Pat's over here going,
Our
not me.
our listenership is thin as it is. I do not want to alienate the 4 or
You
5
mean we
people.
just offended the 5 people that listen in the UK? Oh well.
5
And the
five
people in Texas. Let's see how many. Then Larry just offended someone a minute ago. I can't remember where the town was, but
Enid, that's
What do we have?
Oklahoma.
Enid. Okay, Enid, and the place in Texas, the UK. I'm enjoying
the
this.
family that projects the moon.
Right? Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, that's probably
That
our
was straight
biggest.
You
up
realize
uncalled for.
next week
The moon
there's going to be a
people.
message on the moon that says Larry You
We
were
see
right.
you.
You know, they were going to do that for a while. You know that? Did you know that?
No.
That was I don't mean to get off topic. That was a fake April Fool's joke by Rolling Rock Beer, who put out a story, I believe in 2008, that they were going to begin advertising Rolling Rock Beer on the moon. They were literally going to get a projector and they were going to show Rolling Rock and make it somehow this light beam, and they were going to advertise on the moon. And I remember I was in spring training. I thought, now you're going to advertise on the moon. Now I don't believe this. As it turned out, it was an April Fool's joke. So
Hey, whatever government agency might be listening to this is absolutely a joke. Totally a joke. The moment I start seeing advertisements projected on the night sky is the day I'm becoming a terrorist.
Okay. Again, not affiliated
That's
with
a joke. It's a fun joke.
Sure. Yeah.
Totally a joke.
Yeah. A lot of wacky terrorist jokes.
Yeah, that's what we need.
Do you hear the one up? Never mind.
Hey, what was the English guy? Paul, right? He used to come to the shop.
Yes.
Paul. You remember Paul, right?
Sure.
Good. Oh God.
Don't say it.
He was fun to mess with. He was fun to mess with.
Go on.
She died of natural causes, damn it.
I asked him how the Queen didn't get shot on his watch. He didn't think that was funny.
Oh no.
We all thought it was hilarious.
Everybody in the shop's cracking up. And he's being a dick because he's English, right? And fuck you, Paul, if you're listening, by the way.
Add English to the list of insults. All right, go ahead.
No. So he was in rare form that day. I'm all, hey, Paul, you were in the front car when Diana hit the bridge. You all right?
You're not going to make it to the end of the show, are you?
He didn't talk to me anymore after that.
Greg, you okay, man?
Deep breath in. Deep breath out.
What do you think the first 4 episodes of season 6 were about? Anyway,
We're back to that.
so Bigfoot.
All right.
Segue.
Is Bigfoot real? Of course Bigfoot isn't real. I have my own theory about Bigfoot. Rogue furry. I believe Bigfoot is a rogue furry. Some furry at a furry convention got like high on LSD or some shit and wound up getting dropped off in the woods due to some gambling debt or something and was left to wander in the woods, and people saw this big furry thing running around and said, Bigfoot.
Wow.
Just a theory. I don't know how many furries are listening. Greg,
Don't know.
Oh,
are you sure?
Yep.
it's as good as any other Bigfoot theory I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Equal to any.
Rogue
All right.
furry.
A guy used to be the
That-
center for the Colts. Rogue furry.
Yeah, rogue furry, yeah.
In the 60s.
Yeah.
What the actual? Oh my.
Patience, Greg.
I know, but oh my. Anyway, go ahead.
Now, my brother Pat, he has just returned from Europe, Italy specifically, and had
Yes.
a great time.
Yes.
I think I can tell you because it's been declassified. I haven't actually been unemployed. Pat and I have been involved in an operation, you see. So,
With Rogue Furry.
no. Well, that was the name of the project. It was Operation Rogue Furry.
Yeah, okay.
I may have said too much. But Pat and I's job was to infiltrate the secret Nazi base in Antarctica.
Yep.
That's what we
Glad
did.
you brought this up.
Yep.
Okay.
It was kind of like the icy version of it was kind of like the Where Eagles Dare, just with a lot more snow and ice.
Richard Burton.
Yes.
Right.
So this whole thing started wait, what?
Eagles Dare or more of like Iron Aces with what was that actor?
I can't remember. It was a goofy movie though.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll throw a clip into that too. Yeah, it's
Kind of a Kelly's Heroes vibe.
yeah.
I love that movie.
Donald Sutherland is the tank driver. That's the one thing that throws me off in that movie. The like Centaur music.
Jesus Christ.
So apparently in the 1950s, it was rumored that the Nazis had a secret base housed with advanced tech such as UFOs. Of course, Colin Summerhays, a Cambridge researcher, wrote a paper disputing the theory.
Wait,
Or did he?
1950s? Were we all out of Nazis by then?
You'd think.
Supposedly.
Yeah.
So
Why are
here's
you looking at me? Why wasn't you looking at me when you asked that question?
so
Yes, we were.
so the World War II nerd in the room has a comment on that.
Do tell.
So it's not, again, grain of truth in a lie. The Nazis did have the ability to go out and they'd put little weather stations out in the north of Canada so that their U-boats and navies could get good weather predictions for in the Battle of the Atlantic. And they also dropped Nazi agents on the East Coast. So the idea that the Nazis could sneak down to Antarctica and set up a base is not completely out of the question. It's just a question of did they and what did they do down there? The part two to that is after World War II, I believe an admiral named Admiral Byrd took an expedition down there to kind of see did the Nazis do anything down there.
He didn't find any polar bears speaking.
Yeah,
German,
no.
So he figured it was a no.
Yeah, but the penguins were doing this all the time. So, but he was down there. He was down there for a while.
That needed a visual.
Okay.
Yeah.
You need to find a Nazi penguin.
Jesus.
If you can't find one, you will make one.
Hey, take it easy. We're on a budget here.
I was not told there would be Nazi talk when I was invited.
So when Admiral Byrd and his crew got back, he got a Medal of Honor. A bunch of his main officers got, other lower awards for heroism, and then they said, never speak about what you did down there, and they classified all the files.
Hence Operation Rogue Ferry.
So it's one of those, what did they find in Antarctica, or what did they do down there that had to be classified and is still classified? Probably nothing.
But we will never know.
You're not going to reveal the rest of our mission?
Nope.
You're going to leave it at that?
I'm going to leave it at that.
I think that's a good idea.
Let's just say it was successful.
Yep, and I think we should leave it at that, too.
Amen.
And you know why.
I know why.
Did you find some gold marked from 1939 to 1945?
Not only can he do Russian, he can do German too, folks.
He's been housebound for a long time.
Dear God, what have I done?
Is that all the conspiracies? Is that all?
No.
Oh, there's more?
All right.
These are ridiculous.
Yeah, these are completely ridiculous. Okay. The 5G
Oh, yeah.
cellular signal
Tell us about 5G,
causes
Mr.
cancer and COVID-19. This is even before COVID.
Wouldn't they have named it COVID-5? No?
See?
Anybody? No?
Too obvious.
Yeah. When they were putting all those little micro cells on phone poles and light poles to run 5G, there was talk that the 5G wave caused cancer and COVID. So it led to some dumb people actually damaging towers.
So when it comes to the conspiracy theories like this, like 5G that's permeating everywhere is giving you cancer or a disease, or the chemtrails in the sky are poisoning the air and changing how you think, or they're contaminating the water.
I forgot about that one.
So here's how I chalk all those up. Okay, so you're saying the elites are doing this to control us, right? Okay, do the elites breathe the air? Okay, they're probably not poisoning the air. Do the elites walk around where there's 5G signals? Yes? Okay, they're probably not giving you cancer with 5G signals. Do they drink water? I have not seen a senator drink water, so I can't confirm that the elites drink water, but I'm pretty sure they drink water. So I don't think they're poisoning the water supply. Also, it fits in the category of how many goddamn people would have to know that that's going on and keep it secret.
Do the elites go to the French Laundry and not wear a mask?
Shots fired.
Here's another one.
You should be nicer to the next president, Pat.
Yeah, Italy's looking better and better. If that happens.
The COVID-19 vaccine has a 5G chip inside of it. But wait, there is even a diagram of the chip that circulated on the internet. But guess what it wound up being? The electric circuit for a guitar pedal.
That if you look at it from space, looks
It's
like
Fender.
Yeah,
It's laid out like a swastika.
yeah.
That was good.
Now, the last one is by far my favorite one, and I should have gotten on this train. I could have made a fuck ton of money on it. internet routers can lead to harmful 5G radiation. So, they've got these folks called 5G truthers. They circulated the news that Faraday cages around your internet router help prevent the spread of radiation from 5G.
That's genius. They also help prevent your signal.
Just stealing your thunder.
Really? I try so hard.
I got it. We're going to go on Wish. We're going to buy a bunch of cat carriers. Stay with me.
I'm listening. I'm with you. I'm with you.
So far, very difficult, but go ahead. I'll try.
Yeah. We're gonna print up some little radiation stickers. Put those on the cat carrier, and you put your router in the cat carrier for $139.95.
I like it.
All right.
But the sad thing is, people will buy them.
I know.
But no, here's the thing, though. Instead of buying cat carriers, we take a flight over to Hong Kong, find a little factory, or we go on to Alibaba and just buy like plastic enclosures.
Wrap them in tin foil and say, here you go.
Yeah, and you can put whatever. You can print the decals.
So
we could buy like a gross of 1,000 of them. They come on a container. We sell them for $139.95 to block the harmful 5G signal, and we're fucking heroes.
And because we wrapped the tin foil on them in this shop, we can say they're made in America. So, we'll throw that sticker on there too.
There we go.
See, we're ideal people here. So, Greg.
You still with us over there, Greg? I don't think he's going to make it.
There are people that believe this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the bulk of them I get, but dude, these last couple, are you really serious? Wow.
Okay, obviously you have never listened to Nori or Ben.
No, well, let me put it this way, and George, please don't come after me when I say this. I was watching a program on Netflix. William Shatner hosted, in fact. It's called The Unexplained. You know who one of their stable guests is that they call an expert? George Norrie. He is an expert. I don't know when what, but anyway. Okay, so anyway, yeah.
You're not answering the phone the next time one of our numbers comes up, are you, Pat? So I'd be like, denied, spam risk. That's what that said.
Matt, may I ask a question? I mean, I know it's not my show, but
no, please.
But I can't help it. So
it is your show. You're on it.
Well, thank you. I am curious to each one of you guys. Is there anything? Do you have a conspiracy theory regarding anything? Like you go, I think this could be possible, but it would be considered a conspiracy on anything.
Who do you want to go first?
Whoever.
Go ahead, Greg.
So I don't know if this is would be considered a conspiracy theory, but one of the things that has always captivated my attention happens to be Skinwalker Ranch. I have read the book by George Knapp. There's a program on the History Channel about it that they do experiments on the ranch. Things happen. I can't explain it either. I don't really know. So it captivates my attention. So if you want to call that a conspiracy theory that aliens have visited and that's a portal or whatever they want, could be. I don't really know. But that's
you think there's a possibility?
I am open-minded enough to wonder.
Okay.
But until I can actually see it for myself, yes. I don't know.
I got a fun story about Skinwalker Ranch. Again, my buddy Ethan, he travels back and forth from Kansas to California. He was driving out one time in his Buick, and he's on a group call with me and a couple other buddies, just as something to do while he's driving late at night. He crosses from Colorado into Utah, right there on 70 where the Skinwalker Ranch is. He comes over the hill in mid-sense. He goes, "Oh, holy shit!" and his phone disconnects. And I'm like, is Ethan okay? He calls back 10 minutes later and goes, "Guys, it took me about 5 minutes to realize what I was looking at," and he took a video and sent it to us. Right outside the Skinwalker Ranch is a big wind farm, and the twin farm towers have to have the little beacon light on top for aircraft. Well, it'd be, for drivers and people living around, it'd be dazzling if all 200 of these were going off randomly. So they all on, off, and at night it just looks like a field of red lights floating over the prairie. And my buddy came over the hill, and they all flashed on, and he shit himself.
Oh, God.
That explains a lot.
Skinwalker Ranch had a bathroom.
Yeah, but he called us back laughing because once he realized what he's like, I'm a fucking idiot.
It'd be pretty cool to see that. I've never heard of that before.
I don't know about cool. You might need to stop to change your shorts, at 1:30 in the morning.
Well, when you're not expecting it, But and then he realized, I was about a mile from the main gate of Skinwalker Ranch when that happened.
I don't know, man. For me, and this just happened here not too long ago. Remember when all those idiots were going to stage and then try to take over Area 51?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, like, Jesus Christ. I don't know, conspiracy theory, but there's shit that's gone on at Area 51 that the average human being doesn't know about. The government's hiding something.
Well, I was going to bring this up. Didn't you have a story, and I'm misremembering this hearing it as a kid. Wasn't there a time where Grandma and Grandpa were living somewhere near where they were testing like the old spy planes? Or am I misremembering this story?
Oh, no, your grandma, this is here.
Oh, yeah, just outside McClellan?
Yeah, McClellan was where the U-2 bombers were tested. And my mom has Polaroid pictures of a U-2 bomber flying over outside of Lincoln from Beale Air Force Base.
Before they were public knowledge.
Before that wasn't a thing.
Wait. I'm just going to save you from getting the email. We're going to get, you're thinking of the B-52, not the U-2.
No, the U-2 Dragon Lady.
Really?
Yeah, those were tested out at Beale.
Okay.
And my mom took Polaroid pictures 1971 when they were building their house out by Camp Far West Lake outside of Lincoln of those things flying over.
Okay.
So yeah,
built in Palmdale or Lancaster.
Yeah, they're built in Lancaster and then flown up and tested here, flown out of Beale.
Yeah.
Wow.
So and that the government swore they didn't have anything like that. And yeah.
Well, and a lot of those UFO stories, if you go back and listen to a bunch of the ones from like the 60s and 70s, there was a weird triangle of lights moving in a way or two faster than we'd known to be. And then another 10, 15 years later, we have the not SR-7, well, the SR-71, but also the Dorito fighter. What is it? The F-117, the Nighthawk, the big pyramidal stealth fighter, and then the big B-2 wing. So yeah, that if you start to think, a series of triangle lights moving in a pattern we're not used to, or higher than
which would then explain anyone who may have seen something like that. For instance, the Polaroid, which I can understand that the government maybe doesn't want everyone to know that, might deny that as a top secret project.
Sure.
Big difference between that and a UFO, though, right? Big difference between something that we know exists, but they may be trying to hide it, versus a UFO, which still no one can prove, because apparently every time a UFO is in sight or Bigfoot, suddenly you can take a million selfies, but your camera gets blurry.
Yeah.
Oops, my camera was blurry. That's why I have a
But then some of the more recent, like early 2000s UFOs were like the lights were moving in patterns and changing colors. And then have you seen any of these drone light shows?
I have seen those.
So the theory is, okay, the military had drone technology before it became a civilian available, which that's how military technology works.
Exactly right.
The GPS system was that way, all that stuff. They developed it and then went, we found a better version of it. The civilians can have this one. So,
all right, Scott, what do you got, man?
I got nothing.
Nothing?
I got nothing, man.
No conspiracies whatsoever.
Nope. I'm keeping the one to myself. I think I've beaten that one. That's a dead horse.
Yeah.
Nope. Nope.
No, George Washington was a Nazi. Nothing.
Back to Nazi talk.
So what about you, Pat?
For a long time, I don't know. I guess I don't know if it's a conspiracy, and it sounds crazy, but somehow up until maybe recently, I fully expected Andy Kaufman to show up again. I often thought he faked his death. That guy was the oddest comedian of all time. This is a guy who would, when you'd see him in concert, he would read books until the audience got so angry. This is a guy who pretended or actually wrestled women. a guy who would go on Letterman and stuff and get slapped by wrestlers, and yes. On the show Fridays, where you never knew whether or not he was really not reading his cue cards, and Michael Richards and everyone on the set went crazy and hated the guy. You never knew what was real and not real. And for a long time, I thought, I don't put it past Andy Kaufman to come back and go, I fooled all of you for 30 years. It was a big joke. I wasn't dead. But I'm starting to, if it is a joke, then it's gone on a little bit too long. I think by now maybe the joke might be. But I do have one. When was it 98? The plane going from New York, leaving New York going to Paris, where a lot of the people on the coastline who were out that evening saw missiles flying up.
Flight
hit that plane, TWA flight. Mm-hmm. And if you look at the pattern of the way that thing exploded, how it exploded, if you listen to the people who are in the know who say, you could literally go into that fuel tank with a barbecue and light a barbecue, and that stuff's not going to explode. The only way it's going to explode is with a high impact. And then you hear hundreds of people say, we literally saw the missile go up, tail up, and hit that plane. So when hundreds of people, including pilots, also saw the same thing, I've always had a little bit of a problem with that one. Beyond that, I don't fall in line with any of the other conspiracies.
Mm-hmm. Seems reasonable.
So I'll buy that.
So I got to ask.
Here it comes.
Who? Me?
Pat.
Okay.
On your trip, on your conservative tour. So for those of you that don't know, Pat does this thing with a group. Conservative tours where you go and you do a tour. Usually it's a 2-week tour of various places. This time it was Italy.
Yes.
Before that, I know it was Germany was one of them, and then
France
before that. And I know you've had a great time each time.
Yes.
Well, dude, what was Italy like? I got to know.
Oh, my God. Italy was fabulous. Life-changing, gave you a whole different perspective on how we lived, really. Going to Rome, went to the Vatican, went to all the main big touristy type of places.
Speaking of conspiracy theories, there's a few there.
Listen, you want me as a guest, right? Okay, I don't want to exit real quick here as a Catholic and all. I loved it. It was special for me to go there and see Michelangelo and David and see all of that and where he was buried and all of that. And those things were incredible. Too many tourists for me there. But beyond that, places like Orvieto or Siena, or Stresa, some of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. And one of the things I will say is, you just don't see any homeless people on the streets. You don't see these homeless encampments like you see here. And, when they were giving us the tour and you have Lorenzo on the microphone as the liaison for the trip, and he's telling you everything about the city and all that, I often wonder, how would it be if we were trying to give a tour of like Sacramento? How would you explain to the people on the bus as you're going down the street, how would you explain the homeless situation and what we see in Sacramento? And I'm from Sacramento. I love Sacramento, but it really made me think about that. And I think I was more relaxed than ever when I was in Italy. It was just so, I don't know, very calming and relaxing.
I guess my question would be, what's the difference? What's the difference that makes that?
With the lack of the homeless?
Yeah. Is it any one thing? Is it just a general cultural thing?
It's a cultural thing. It's because people in Italy, if you're down on your luck, your friends, first of all, they're going to make sure you're taken care of. It's either going to be friends taking you in, someone's going to take you in. If you have $0, they have homes that cost you zero. If you may, it depends on how much money you're making, but they'll fit you into these homes so you're not on the street. And if they can't do that, then families will take you in. So that's just part of it, but yeah,
that's really amazing.
Yeah,
and it kind of makes me think that we think of it as we're the leader of the free world and we're the most intelligent, but we're not. Some of these other countries have got things figured out a lot better than we do.
Well, thank God for the United States being the leader of the free world. That's why we're free. But you know what? I think we can learn lessons. I had a conversation with a friend the other day. And I said, one of the things that I notice is, over there, obviously that it's such an old country versus the United States. And I said, but everything here looks the same. Everything is beige, strip malls. Doesn't matter where you go. All of these cities, it's all the same model for whatever reason. And he told me, well, it's because we're so much younger. We don't have the history. Everyone wants these old buildings. I said, no, I'm not really longing for these old brick buildings and cathedrals and things. But we've had, what, almost 260 years or whatever to do what we're doing, but maybe do it with a little more personality, I guess. A little more, make it a little more individual, make it look a little different, have some character. And I think
little pizzazz.
Yeah, a little pizzazz. I think we really lack that. It's just whatever's the cheapest way to put it up, that's what we do.
I was just about to say, it's a matter of cost effective. You put a tilt up, because Sacramento's got a bunch of them. I've helped build some of them, but just, you know, basic square tilt ups for stuff. It's cheap.
Yeah.
Tilt it up, put a roof on it, put power, phone, and water, sewer, and hey, you got a building. Yay.
Yeah. And then charge you more than any other part of the United States of America does for that.
Exactly.
For the cheaper cost, and that's what you're getting for more money.
Pat, I have another question for you, because you've done a couple of these. I'm really jealous of the Germany one, as both from a cultural aspect, and again, I said it, the World War II nerd in me would, like, going to Normandy is one of my big bucket list trips I want to do. I was able to do Pearl Harbor. I want to do Normandy. But something I believe, and these guys have heard me say, I want to do, like I said, I want a road trip to visit my buddy in Kansas. My brother, Pat, he just did a road trip with his buddy from, Fort Lauderdale to Houston and through Nashville and Memphis and all these places.
Yeah.
Do you think if the average person was able to travel and kind of see even other parts of this country, I'm a big believer that if you got out and saw more of the world and realized
Thank you, my spirit animal.
people do stuff different, and do you think that would solve some of the, like, stress that people have, like going out and experiencing, like, other cultures are different, but also like some, because it seems like you went to Italy and all these other places and came back with, like, profound life-changing experiences.
No, you really do. Here's what I would, this is the way I put it. It's like we only focus on what I'll call our own backyard. This is our backyard. Here's Loomis. Here's where I live in the foothills, Sacramento. We talk about Newsom. We talk about wildfires. We talk about all of these things that affect us. And we think this is the world. Mm-hmm. This is what's happening in the world. Well, no, it's what's happening in our own backyard.
And that's the problem. We don't look at a bigger picture. And I've been saying this for years. If you're born on the West Coast or the East Coast of this country and you've never been anywhere, and I'm not talking on vacation, you know, because, I mean, if your folks took you somewhere on vacation, you know, you go see the highlights, you know?
Yeah.
It should be a requirement when you graduate high school, if you're not going straight to a 4-year college or straight into the military, you should have to get in a car with 2 or 3 of your friends or on a Greyhound bus and travel across this country and see how the average human being operates their daily life, because here ain't it.
Right.
You know, it's just, you know, you get on Google, we can get on Google Earth right now and start going through the Midwest, the middle section of this country, and the perspective is going to be so much different because the 2 cars parked in the driveway cost more than the house. And, you know, in the majority of this country.
Right.
And
that's right.
You know, the average guy, the average 25-year-old or younger that was born and raised here in California or born and raised in New Jersey or wherever, they can't comprehend that because they have no grasp.
Well, and the vice versa too.
Yeah, same thing.
The farm kid from Kansas, you know, Ethan's getting a lot of playtime. He visited New York for a few days. He went up to New York and then up to Vermont because his mom was graduating from her college. He said it was both equally cool but also kind of weird because he'd never been in that big of a city before. So, no, I every time you get back from one of these trips, I think, man, I think more people need to travel. And again, not travel just to vacation, but travel and be like, appreciate other places.
And understand, you know.
Well, let me ask the question when you said New York, because that's a big state, and depending on where you go.
Oh, yeah.
I myself, I went to the island. I could only do about 48 hours in Manhattan.
That's what Ethan
because
said.
After about day 2, I want to punch someone in the face. It just moves so fast and it's so crazy. However, nothing beats the nightlife in New York. Sue and I we were going to go to a steakhouse for dinner. Kind of fell through because we couldn't get a reservation. So we wind up at this Irish pub. 2 kids, they're about 19, 20. Fresh off of an Aer Lingus flight out of Ireland, show up in New York. It's their dad's bar, and they're going to work for the summer. We hung out, drank. They showed me rugby videos on their phone. I showed them football videos on my phone, and we just had a good freaking time. There's a picture somewhere. I'm known as the big friendly giant. These guys were like, they were not small, but,
average size Irish.
Yeah.
Damn Irish will drink with anybody, won't they?
Damn right. And I love
some angry drinking sons of bitches we are.
And I love it. But after we closed the bar, well, not really closed the bar, we left around 2. We go over to this place that looks like a little house and go into this elevator, go down to the basement. It's like an underground jazz festival. And sat back and listened to jazz till like 4:30 in the morning. Walked back to our hotel, and it's like, I can see the appeal of the nightlife in New York, but it's for the youngsters. I mean, at this point, I don't know if I'm going to do it all night.
Even traveling to somewhere is, even traveling to somewhere is, 4 counties over. Last year, every year, some buddies and I go out to Mendocino County and camp on the coast, right at the edge of Mendocino and Humboldt. And we were chatting with some friends of theirs who, older couple, have lived there all their lives. And they were talking about how, their parents and their grandparents dealt with the logging industry boom and bust, and then the weed industry boom and bust. And you're like, oh, weed. But hearing how that community was built on logging and then it collapsed and went to shit. And then weed was kind of the second boom, and now it's busting again after legal. Just hearing the story of how the community grew and developed, and it's like, damn, it's even 100 miles over. It's a whole different set of
Yes, a set of operations. Yeah, 100%.
And if I may chime in for a minute, okay.
Thanks, Larry.
Well,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
The company that I work for, I think did me a service. For 3 years, I was going around the country as a trainer for some software.
I thought he was talking about hiring him for a minute.
Well, there's that too. but and I agree with everything you've said, especially Pat, because though I wasn't traveling the world, I was traveling to states on the coastline in the Midwest, all over, and seeing the differences in different places. And the fun thing for me was to get to know the locals that I was working with and go, okay, I don't want a touristy location around here. In some places, it wasn't even a tourist town. But where do you guys go to eat? What do you guys do for fun? What do you suggest I see? Because I may not get back here, number one. And number two, I want to experience the location that I'm at like a local would, not like a tourist, because that's where you learn. I know particularly you for traveling to Italy or any of the towns. To learn and eat and be and do as a local does is way more gratifying and a way better experience on your journey than to try and do it as from the tourist perspective.
It is. I remember a story you told. There was a complete nothing story, really, but it stands out to me, and it just, again, it gives you a different perspective. Although on a minor level, I could picture you doing this. I don't remember where you went. You went on a trip with, I think, your work. And you were talking about being in a place, and you got up early in the morning, and it was freezing out. And you wanted to have a cigar, bringing it back to cigars. And you were like, dang it, it's freezing out there. But as I recall, you found a place to go indulge in a cigar and get out there and be a part of that very cold, bitter cold weather that you were talking about, which obviously we don't have where we live.
Nope.
And even little things like that, you go, gosh, look at this place. It's freezing. It's white. It's different than our own backyard. And there's just, depending on where you're going, like you're saying too, Anthony, it's just a couple of counties over, you find that it's just so different, and it's not really focusing on the stuff that we sit and talk about every single day, which is refreshing.
Yeah, that was Vermont.
We won't do enough.
Vermont, yes, right, Vermont.
We don't do enough of that because our days are consumed with, meeting the minimum requirement to survive, now. And it's just, we've made life too damn complicated. And, when it was simpler, it was better, in my opinion, and it's.
Now you'd be right.
Well, it's, for me, one of the things that I most enjoy, and it's even before the show got started, is that when the three of us go somewhere and go visit someplace, like, getting to the Redwoods a few weeks back and going to the different cigar venues that we do, not with the show, just going to go explore. It's just fun.
Yep. Yeah, and that's, you don't need a reason, man, to get out and see the area you live in. I mean, how many people do you know that have lived in this area 20, 30 or more years and they haven't been to Lake Tahoe, or they haven't been to Bodega Bay, or it's just like they haven't been to the state capitol.
I remember talking to Jack Armstrong. He's one of the hosts of the Armstrong and Getty show on our sister station and syndicated radio show. Jack is from Kansas. I'll never forget him telling me that he had relatives in this. He came from a very tiny county somewhere in the middle of Kansas. And he said, Pat, I got relatives who are in their 90s. They've never left the county. Yeah. Never left the county. I mean, you're talking about people who have not seen anything other than what they are literally their backyard. If you can, I just highly recommend it. Some people can't. I often wondered if I was going to be able to. I feel blessed that I've been able to do this, and it really it gives you a way different perspective and take on stuff that you're used to.
Do we know where the next one's going to be?
Back to Italy in April.
Amalfi Coast.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Southern
Italy.
Yeah.
So we went to the northern Italy, and now we're going to go to southern Italy, Sicily and Pompeii and some of those places. And then in fall, we're going to Ireland.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we may be joining you in April.
That's fantastic.
That's awesome.
That is a definite possibility.
Now, Pat, you have been to one of the bucket places that I want to visit.
Which way? Which place?
To the Vatican.
Yes.
The Holy See is fascinating for me. And it's one of the places that I really want to see. I know there's a lot of places that I won't be able to go to, but because you can't get in there, but I want to go see it. I
sure recommend it. The fact that it's its own little country, that it's its own little entity that you...
Do you get a passport
St.
stamp?
Peter's Square. Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, sure did.
Oh, that's awesome.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's another
awesome.
pretty cool thing is that you go through, your passport starts getting stamped a lot. You're like, hey, look at that. Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. But yeah, the Vatican, I highly recommend it because it's, I don't have to say anything. It's the Vatican.
Yeah.
I got a question.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I should ask or not. Okay. You didn't get too far from the bus this time, did you?
Hell no. No. So last year when we went to Germany and Austria, conservative tours, by the way, if you don't mind me plugging the show, if anyone wants to go with us to Italy in April, I'm on the Amalfi Coast, conservativetours.com. This is not typical of conservative tours, by the way. But yes, we were in Munich, and apparently I wasn't paying attention. For 30 seconds, took a video, and, the group was no longer around me when I was in the video. And I said, where'd the group go? And I couldn't find them, and I ended up walking, I think it was 18 kilometers in dress shoes around Munich. Yeah. Not even having a clue what my hotel was called. And that was terrifying, absolutely terrifying. They did the wrong head count, did not realize I was on the bus. So I'll tell you one thing about traveling with these groups. Just like anything else, you learn and you evolve. I can assure you that no one will ever be left behind because of me on these trips again. The head counts are done 2 and 3 times, and every time I get on the bus, they go, Pat's here! So,
Home Alone 7, Verklempt in Munich.
I mean, if
That was good, Gorilla.
if somebody is going to get left, you would think the cat that is emceeing this event would not be the guy that gets fucking left behind.
Right.
I'm just saying.
And the next morning at the hotel, one of the people, she was so sweet. She was mad that I got left behind. So she goes to the guy that runs the tour. She goes, hey, you left Pat behind. And he goes, well, we don't account for the celebrity. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. You counted on me for the 5 months I promoted this thing, but once I'm on a tour.
This fucking tour is full because of me.
Right. But don't you count me.
The fucking empty seat in the front, nobody paid any attention to. All right, what the fuck is going on here?
But if anyone's wondering, that's not the way the tour is run. I promise you.
Well, And I didn't say this to, back.
No, I know. That's a true story. It's terrifying.
Dude, when you told that story for the first time, I mean, that was simultaneously the funniest and the saddest thing I'd ever heard. Because Pat, I mean, you can tell the shit out of a story. 18 kilometers in dress shoes and my feet were throbbing. And I'm like, fuck, man. I feel bad for me, but at the same time going, you didn't hear the fucking bus driving off? What the fuck you doing, man? Later, fucker. Like, what's going on here? I don't understand how you missed out on this.
I called and they said, go to the Koningsplatz. So no one spoke English, of course. I'm going, Koningsplatz. They're going, Koningsplatz? I finally made it to the Koningsplatz. I was about 15 kilometers in. There was nothing at the Koningsplatz. There was no tour group at the Koningsplatz. So, yes, it was terrifying. I don't recommend that for anyone. No. I was I paid very close attention to that. I sacrificed myself during last year's tour so that would never happen again to anyone.
Just imagining Pat running around Munich with a German to English phrase book.
Yes. Oh, I was on my phone.
Es strudde mich, Sie bitter. Wo ist der Koningplatzen?
Walk up to the couple and go, English, Vita?
Ein Bier, please.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean... At that point, you should have just walked into a bar and started a fight. I mean, fuck. Sooner or later, they got to have somebody at the precinct that can understand you, right? Fucking Irish guy. Hold on.
Polizei?
You've been better off translating Irish.
Everyone I went over there, they thought I was Irish, too. I go have Irish? They say Irish? Actually, I'm American, but I look Irish. Yeah. I can't do the German accent like you can, Anthony.
That's because you've seen Hunt for Red October like 67 times. Oh, God. Oh, Pat, this is what's great about having you on the show, man. We got to get you on more often.
Thank you, guys.
This is fucking awesome.
I really love this. This is really very enjoyable. Very relaxed.
I just thought of another question. Is there some place that you haven't gone or haven't planned to go yet with conservative tours? If you could pick anywhere, where would you like to go that you haven't been?
Ireland, but we're already going. You mean it's not on the list?
Yeah, not on the list. What would be the one after Ireland you'd want to go if you could go anywhere?
Probably Greece, someplace like that.
Okay.
Someplace like that.
What about Australia and New Zealand?
I've thought about that, but how long is that flight?
Yeah, that's like
I'm still not big on the
18
flight.
hours.
That's an 18
The flying part of this whole thing. Yeah. That's still not my favorite part, to be completely honest with you.
Well,
enjoy
100%.
that.
Pat, once you're in the air, though, 14 hours, 18 hours, what difference does it make?
Yeah, that's true. I can never figure out the air travel. Like, you start off in the morning, and then you're on the plane, right? And then it's daylight, but then at some point it gets night, but you're not sure once it gets night. At that point, I don't know, is it yesterday? Is it tomorrow? Wait, is it in the morning? Is it early morning? I'm not sure what time this is, so you just kind of have to fall asleep at some point, right? Pretend like it's a regular day.
Yeah.
You fall asleep, it's daylight, then you wake up, it's dark in the plane, and people are snoring. But I don't know what time it is. And for a long time over there, I didn't know what day it was, and I like that. I like not knowing what day it is. Think about that. When's the last time, as Larry pointed out earlier, in our very busy and chaotic life, because we always have this pressure of got to do this, got to do that, got to keep up with everything. When's the last time? Think about it. You didn't even know what day it was for like 4 or 5 days in a row.
I don't know. The pandemic comes to mind, but...
Well, time I was really high for a whole long time. No.
Whoa. No, I was going to say Jamaica.
Yeah.
I mean, I spent most of my time in the pool playing volleyball and chugging drinks.
Yeah, right? You don't know what day it is. Who cares what day it is?
I don't give a shit. Give me another one.
In fact, when I said it, Don goes, because he runs a business. He goes, well, unfortunately, I have to run a business from here, so today's Friday. I go, no, don't tell me that. I don't want to know. You ruined it. Now I got to start forgetting again. Which I did.
That was one of the
2 drinks in. We don't know what day it is.
Oh
again.
yeah, I forgot.
Hey,
I don't know if my dad remembers this, but I think was it 8th grade or maybe freshman year, sophomore year. There was a student tour group that I got roped into for the first meeting of that was going to do an Australia trip, and we went to the first meeting for that. Saw the price tag and went no.
Yeah.
But that
sorry,
that was,
buddy, you ain't going to Australia. My bad.
Now, to be fair, this was after the back-to-back years of Washington, D.C. for an inauguration, and then Washington, D.C. in the East Coast again for scouting the National Jamboree for Boy Scouts. So I was okay with not going to Australia the third year after that. But Australia and New Zealand would be a cool spot to go because they're
I agree.
I'd love to go.
It's almost a whole different world down there. Just great.
Well, for one, I loved Hong Kong. That was so much fun. Great place. Lots to do, lots of fun. And they've got their subway system locked down. The MTR is perfect.
When did you go to Hong Kong?
2008. So by this time,
this was between 1 and 2 or between 2 and 3?
Oh, between 2 and 3. I know where you're getting at.
When you were in Hong Kong, was it still under the crown or
No,
was it
was
under
not.
Chinese?
It was ceded to the Chinese in 97. So it was still considered a special administrative region. So, I mean, it's pretty cosmopolitan out there.
Like China Light?
One of my favorite stories from when you were in Hong Kong was when you were out somewhere in the city and it was a street vendor that's like, oh, look, this American's not going to eat this. And you did anyway.
Oh, yeah. They have this thing called Tuesday Market. So it's just, it's in the Wan Chai district and it's bustling. They're selling everything. And they have people open air cooking. And there was this really pungent smell of garlic. It smelled great. And I walked over to the grill that the lady was working. And I asked her what it is, and she said in broken English, she says, oh, you're American, you're not going to like this, and just going on and on about it. I said, no, I'll take one. Gave her my money, and a whole bunch of people watched me as I bit into this barbecued garlic scorpion. Ate it in its entirety.
Was it good?
It was delicious. There was another time
Hell no.
China's out.
Oh, it was taste. Oh, you can get other food. It's not like you're going to eat scorpions for the whole trip, Pat. I went to this noodle house. I just seen
Mixed scorpion and fries?
Oh, man.
Oh, I got a story about McDonald's, but I just finished touring the Big Buddha, going up the steps to Enlightenment. That is for the young because I got about a third of the way up those stairs and it's like, I can do it. I climbed my way to see the largest Buddha in the world. Amazing view.
I thought that was Roger.
Sorry, Roger.
What? He don't listen. Don't hear that bullshit. I love you, Raj, just in case.
So I go over to this noodle house. And it was a little cold, so my fingers were just kind of like, it's like trying to move my fingers around. This is important because I get my bowl of noodles and I get chopsticks because I made it a point when I'm there, I eat with chopsticks. So it was cold, so I'm sitting there trying to, what, do I have arthritis? What the fuck? And I'm trying to maneuver this, and me being a dumb American, I have my bowl and I'm trying to pick it up and eat it like so. I was having a hard time. So one of the little Chinese ladies comes from around the kitchen. Cute as can be, she sets a fork down and pats me on the shoulder. And it's like the whole noodle,
poor starving American.
the entire noodle house is laughing their ass off. So I'm just like, I guess I got to take the L. Then I looked around for a second. The way to eat noodles out there is you put the bowl up to your face and you shovel it in. So then it was like, wait, I've broken the cheat code. That's how they do it. So I put the fork down, grab my chopsticks again. Everybody's watching. I'm like, all of a sudden the guys in the kitchen are like, yay!
But see, it's shit like that if you don't travel, you don't have those little weird moments.
No, exactly.
Then I went to Chinese McDonald's. They have pretty much everything we have, but they also sell a side of corn. It's like in a French fry basket, and it's corn kernels. I'll be damned, I had some, but one of the other things I got was an apple pie. Now, out here in the States, they're kind of like that baked pie. Back in the 70s, they were fried. Remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
And those were fucking delicious. So I get an apple pie, I open it up, and I'm like, it's fried.
37 more of these, please.
Don't laugh because I got 2 of them and I was eating them on the way back to my MTR stop. I had to turn around, run back, and get about 5 or 6 more. Lady behind the register is laughing her ass off because I'm like, do you understand? I'm from America. They don't do this anymore.
Like those old ones they used to serve?
Yes, it's the old school fried apple pie. It was the most magnificent thing ever.
Wow.
Was the ice cream machine broke?
I don't know. I didn't get any ice cream.
I haven't thought about those in years.
Oh, those
apple pies. From
Those
McDonald's.
things were so friggin' good.
I haven't been to McDonald's forever, but I forgot about those. You know, at the McDonald's in Italy, they serve beer. Did you know that?
Goddamn
Fuck
right
it. When
they
are we
do.
going to Italy?
Yeah, they serve beer at
Yeah,
McDonald's.
goddamn
in
right
Italy.
they do.
Isn't that something?
Okay, tell your wife we are going to Italy in April.
Hey, props for not leaning into the stereotype and selling wine, by the way. But, you know,
Yeah, right.
I mean, if you ask, they probably give you something.
Well, since you're going to the
Little
Amalfi
McCoors
Coast,
Light.
you'll have to look into the Cosa Nostra.
Oh, God. You're going to make him do the voice now, aren't you?
No, I'm not.
Thank
No,
God.
I'm not going
No,
to. I will not.
Oh? Oh, God. Here it comes.
for you,
Oh, yes. For
I
you.
have discovered something. The brand of the cigars the Godfather smoked was
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
Denobly
Denobly, yeah.
cigars.
Because we talked about this way back on
Way
the,
back
when
when.
we talked about the Godfather with
I have found that I can get them. I'm going to order them so we can smoke them for one of the shows.
Okay, that's actually kind of cool.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I have found them, and I re-listened. I was re-listening to The Godfather on my last trip to Idaho because I wanted something different to listen to, and that came up, and I'm like,
didn't even know if they were real cigars.
I Googled it. I didn't know if they were either. I Googled it, and lo and behold, several of the major online houses that are credible sell them. I will be ordering some for
Hey,
us.
that's cool.
Good man.
Yeah, get a box so we can recreate the artwork.
Yes.
So,
And have that on the wall behind us.
random question: has anyone been to Alaska?
Yes.
Yes. No one else.
No.
That's another one on my bucket list. My buddies, Ethan and a couple of the other camp counselor buddies of mine, they were all sharing a house here in Auburn right during the pandemic for a couple years. They randomly, in right as the pandemic was lifting and travel restrictions were lifting, like, hey, you guys want to go to Alaska? They did like a 4-day. They flew up, spent 3 days in Alaska, flew back. I thought they were freaking crazy. They had a bitchin' time.
I never thought I wanted to do Alaska until your grandmother did Alaska.
She came back with pictures and story. It's apparently just gorgeous. It's also really remote and rural up there, but it's apparently gorgeous.
Did you have any pictures of grizzlies doing panda bears?
No, but
I'd be interested in seeing
I got a video
She's
message.
Catholic. She wouldn't take a picture of that if she saw it.
Very, very.
I got a video message from my buddies, and this is part of why I'd want to go, maybe with a group, but probably alone. Some of the best trips I've done, it was just me alone, not having to deal with anybody else's, because you gotta
I would love to see you do this trip alone. I just went on. I would love for you to document you going by yourself on this trip alone. I would love to see this.
Okay, a non-English speaking country would be more planning, but like I did the Hawaii trip with a bunch of people. It was with people, but we weren't doing stuff together, so you kind of had the freedom to do whatever you want, and I liked that. They went as a group, and I got this video message, and this is why I can't travel with my friends. I get a video message. They're hiking through a little park in Anchorage. You know how we have deer that just kind of walk around here in California? They don't have that in Alaska. The moose walk around the same way deer walk around here. They're on this hiking trail, and I get a video, and I'm thinking it's one of these, like the Snapchat filters where they'll like have a layer that looks like it's a moose walking by, and I'm like, why they're in Alaska? Why would they? Oh my God, that's a real moose. Holy crap, they're 3 feet from a moose. Oh, that dumb friend. I know he's thinking about touching it. And I know his brother is knowing he's thinking about. No, they were literally standing me to you from a full-grown adult bull moose.
That is not the brightest idea in the world.
But they didn't have a choice. The moose just kind of appeared on this public, not like a national park way out in the middle, like hiking through in the middle of the city park. And the moose is just walking around munching on leaves, and they're standing there like, what the fuck? And those
You give me your
fuckers are
granola
tall.
bar and fucking run. That's what you do.
Yeah.
One of the places that I went to, there was a sign behind the building that I was doing the training in, was a park. Mm-hmm. And you walked out the back of the building, and you walked into the park, and you could actually walk through the park and then up the trails up into Lolo Pass in the area of Montana I was in. And the manager handed me his 44 Magnum and said, if you're going to hike, take this with you, because there is a moose that lives in this park. He's not friendly, and you may have to defend yourself. And if you plan to hike into the mountains, which I did every day, there are other unfriendlies up there that you may have to defend yourself with. But
hey,
you're right.
I have had a healthy respect for moose ever since I read Hatchet as a kid. Anyone read Hatchet?
Oh God, I can't. That was so long ago. No. But I also forget there's 20 years between you and I.
True. Hatchet, basically, the story is kids flying on a bush plane to visit his dad in Canadian oil fields. Plane goes down. He has to survive, and all he has is a hatchet on his belt. Yeah, part of the story is he gets attacked by a moose. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 12-year-old me is like, what the fuck? Great story. Even as
he uses hatchet?
No. He didn't use the hatchet on the moose because it's a fucking moose.
Right.
Yeah. By the way, if you're an adult or a kid and haven't read it, if you're a kid and listening to this podcast, get the fuck out. If you're an adult, don't know why the hell you're here. If you're an adult and you didn't read Hatch as a kid, put it on a long drive. It's not a bad book.
Okay, I need to read that. But all I can think of, you in Alaska, is like Grizzly Man 2024.
Dude, fuck that. No, I would, again, that's one of those trips where it would be, I'm not dumb enough to know. I know where I'm going and I know where not to go and what not to do. Again, part of the reason I wouldn't
place your bets, gentlemen.
You'd be given the bear's name. Hello there, Mr. Chocolate.
We're going to call this one Chocolate Dinosaur.
God damn.
You look a lot like my friend Scott.
Wow. We took it there. The bear peered into the tent and go, grape sodagram.
Yeah, I was going to say, man, sounds like a whole lot of people.
Oh, man, what else do we have this evening?
That was basically, we've covered everything I had on the agenda.
Ooh, hold on, man. I got one for you.
Okay, fire away, Larry.
So this is how you know that just as a society, we have gone to hell in a handbasket. I had to go down Sacramento area in the Thomas area the other morning, drop something off, and I'm coming back through, and I wanted to get a coffee, Egg McMuffin, something. So I'm on Elkhorn Boulevard in Rio Linda.
Okay.
And I pull into a McDonald's drive-thru, and they got the 2 lanes now, where you can order from 2 different kiosks, and then it comes down to 1 lane. You go by the side of the building, pay, pick up your shit, right? On a post at the entrance to these 2 lanes is a 24-inch by 18-inch sign that says, no trailers or boats.
Someone did.
Whoa. I saw that today. A trailer went through the Carl's Jr. drive-thru.
I mean, what the fuck had to happen for them to put a 24 by 18 is the size of that yellow and black sign up there. I mean, that's a big ass sign, right?
Yeah.
No trailers or boats. I'm like, damn, this is what, that needs to come with like a little fold out.
There's some security tape footage that we need to get a hold of.
Someone took a U-Haul in there.
Yeah, there should be a couple of pictures or something, Dude,
right.
Somebody's fucking pontoon boat pulling over the clown's head
Larry,
from Jack in the Box.
You do realize this is the 21st century. We have YouTube. You just have to pull up trailer in the drive-thru. I can just guess how many videos are going to pop up,
man. If I'm YouTubing something, it ain't going to be trailer in the drive-thru. I'm just saying.
Pickup truck with trailer crashes into restaurant's drive-thru.
No, you know what that makes me think of? Have you guys seen 11'8"? There's a railroad trestle bridge somewhere. There's a railroad trestle bridge somewhere back east. I want to say it's like in Pennsylvania, Virginia. That's big signs, big black and yellow, metal like construction marking stripe, low bridge, 11'8", tall vehicles do not drive through here. The guy that has his law office kitty corner from that bridge at that intersection has a 24-hour webcam pointed at the bridge because without fail, at least 3 or 4 times a year, some tractor trailer, Amazon delivery van, motor home with an air conditioner on top, bam, into that bridge every single time. It went on for like a decade, and then finally, whatever railroad that runs in there finally closed down that main line and raised the bridge 6 inches because they're like, fuck it, we can't keep it doing this.
Despite the huge signs.
Yeah.
It's cheaper just to build it.
Wow.
God. No, there's hours of videos of different things hitting that fucking bridge.
So you wouldn't YouTube that? What would Larry YouTube?
Let's find out what. No, hold on. Let's find out what Larry
YouTube. If he's gonna
If I
YouTube.
send you this link, can you get it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Go on.
What would be the typical Larry's gonna YouTube something?
You guys can go fuck yourself.
It's not like we're asking what your preferences on Pornhub are. Jesus. I'm talking YouTube.
It's kind of one and the same.
Oh my goodness.
Scared the Catholic right out of
I
the
had
building.
no idea that you were okay.
Yeah, no, gong. It's like, let's ask Larry what he YouTubes. Yeah, a fucking great idea. Buckle up, Virginia. It's gonna be a rough ride. God damn.
All right. So before we close this out, see, you didn't even have to say nothing. I was trying to help Private Pile.
Okay.
You had to say something.
Before we close this out, let's segue the fuck out of this mess. Too late, bitch.
Camera Gorilla does have a
So
question.
hard.
What do you want?
Respectfully, Camera Gorilla felt a little left out.
Okay.
Bitch, you've been talking the whole fucking time. How can you feel left out?
I did not get to share.
Share away.
I did not get to answer Pat's question about what my conspiracy theory kind of one that
Yeah, right.
Okay.
right.
Well,
there's always, you know,
Bitch, please.
there's always the fun ones like JFK, whatever. The ones that get me are like the urban legends and ghost stories.
Yeah.
Because it's like, for example, like the Appalachia Woods, like the Wendigo or the Appalachia ghost lights, stuff like that. It's like, okay, maybe it's just a bunch of hillbillies high on their own moonshine, whatever. But parts of it's like, no, I've been in nature and out camping in weird places enough to be like, yeah, don't do anything weird. Don't leave your trash in the woods. Don't mess with stuff you don't know. And the thing that's kind of tangential to that is I've told my dad this a couple times. There have been some places where I've been either on scouting trips where you just get that kind of oogie feeling. One of the spots that did it for me, and I've told my dad this, one of the big Cub Scout trips in this area is to go down to Alameda and stay overnight on the USS Hornet. One of the most uncomfortable spots I've ever stood in was in the medical area of the USS Hornet, the surgery room and the operating ward and all that. Like, yeah, it's a museum now. There's nothing there that's like but something about that area of the ship just made my neck tingle in a weird way. But stuff like that gets me like, okay, do ghosts exist? Maybe not, but there's definitely when you're in places that have like Gettysburg was another one that we went in the evening on one of the trips to DC, and it was just like,
Now that I'd love.
man, it's like
Love
the
to do
history is
that.
cool, but when you start thinking about, we're standing where like people were
Right.
bayonet fist fighting, you get like this weird like, ooh.
A quick comment on the USS Hornet.
Yeah.
If you're in Northern California and you have a Cub Scout, Boy Scout, and you're going to do that Hornet trip, as a dad going on that, if you are over 5'9" and over about 185 pounds, you might want to rethink being a chaperone on that trip.
Yeah, because you get to sleep in the berthings, in the original hanging berthings. And yeah, if you're not Cub Scout or, small teenager sized, it's a...
Yeah,
it sucks. Yeah.
they couldn't understand why I wanted to volunteer to do the night watch. I'm like, I ain't gonna be able to sleep in this son of a bitch anyway, man. I am 6'2", and back then 260 pounds. I'm a little over that now.
On that note, even if you're not in Cubs, go visit the USS Hornet. It's a cool museum ship. It's run by a lot of Navy vets. Go and hang out and tell stories. And
Yeah, it was a fun trip. Don't get me wrong.
I'll throw this
Do
story-
the day trip though.
Yeah, do
Don't
the day
stay
trip.
overnight.
they have they were one of the Apollo recovery vessels, so they've got a little section about the Apollo mission. It's a cool, but you'll love this story because you remember it. One of the first trips we did to the Hornet, you get there Friday evening, you tour, you eat dinner in the mess hall, which is cool, and then you can go to bed, or for an extra, half hour, 45 minutes, you can go into the forecastle, the anchor chain room, and they turn off all the lights and they tell the ship's supposedly haunted, so they'll tell you some of the ghost stories. So we're in this pitch black room, bigger than this shop. It's almost gymnasium size in the front of the ship. This guy is telling a story about, I was doing my rounds, making sure things were locked up. No one was, none of the kids got out of bed and were wandering the ship, yada, yada. And he's like, and I heard this noise. This fucker in the darkness, fuck this man. He picked up one of the big anchor chain wrenches, a wrench as tall as I am, and he hucked it not very far, just enough to get airtime, but it banged against the steel bulkhead. I wet myself.
Oh, yeah.
I was up like, we're gone. We're going to bed.
95 scouts are like, ah!
Pitch black. And I can't remember the exact story he was telling, but he got to a part where he stopped and it was quiet for about 8 seconds. And then bang, this anchor chain wrench hits the wall. And I'm like, fuck it. I'm out. Get me out of here. Get me the fuck out of here. Fuck that guy. And then we went back 2 years later and it was really fucking cool. But yeah, go to the SS Hornet. Have the shit scared.
Brown trousers would be a good idea.
Yeah, I'm thinking that he probably shouldn't advertise for any kind of tour group or anything.
Yeah, not that particular one, for sure.
All right, man. We ready to wind this out?
Yeah, just one other small thing. Over the past week, I had the privilege of being interviewed on Gen X Talks podcast, which is now live. So check out genxtalks.com and you will be able to listen to that interview. The general who hosts that show, we could have gone for 3 hours. The podcast that I was on was 95 minutes, and it was 95% of us laughing our asses off and drinking Jack Daniels.
There's something you need to know about that. Mm-hmm. You need to forward the clip or the meme that he made of us and send.
Greg didn't like it. It made Greg unhappy.
That's probably.
It was hilarious, though.
Yeah, so you need to send that over to the gorilla so the gorilla can put that up because it's pretty funny. And we won't describe it or discuss it. We'll just let you guys see it when it comes up because it's pretty funny.
And speaking of which, the general gave me a scolding because he has not been back on yet. So we need to schedule some dates in order to get the general back onto the podcast.
Let's get your new work schedule figured out.
Pat, have you seen any of Gen X Talks? Do you know what we're talking about?
No.
Now, this is one you got to look up, man. Gen X Talks is a kid about, 18?
He's 18. Briggs is 18.
He started doing this when he was about 14, maybe 15, where he just walks around with a camera. And his dad's my age, right?
Okay.
And asks his dad questions about life and about why he's doing shit. And this guy's just a bitter, angry fuck like me. I got introduced to it by his little brother because hey, man, I think I found your spirit animal. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he shows me this clip, and this dude is funny as shit. And so we had him on a show, and it was a laugh riot, man. It was.
So now I know what you YouTube, Gen X Talks.
Gen X Talks, yeah.
And the thing as the younger guy, I said this when he was on, the thing I like about it is he'll poke shit at the younger generation, but not in a mean way. He'll be like, things are just different. And he'll explain, it was different this way because X, Y, Z. And no, he's a cool dude. We need to.
Yeah, definitely need to get him back on.
Yep.
All right.
We will set that up. Hey, Gorilla.
Yes.
Over in the enclosure. Take me home.
Oh.
You forgot to plug Pat's show.
Yeah, what are you doing over
God
there?
damn it, will you give me a minute? Jeez, this thing runs for 2 minutes. I have a plan.
We got to get to the funky keyboard.
I know, exactly. Be sure to check out on iHeart the Pat Walsh Show, as well as Pat's Peeps.
Thank you.
As he kicks back, relaxes, talks about a few things, and he plays some of that massive, awesome 45 collection.
Thank you. I love doing that.
How many 45s you got, man?
About 5,000.
Jesus.
That was not the number I was.
Yeah, no.
Oh, yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah.
It's badass. Are you happy now?
No.
Jesus.
You wouldn't be happy if we were hanging him with a new rope.
Did you mention how much time's left on the song here?
Oh, you got a
Go
lot.
for it.
Did you mention at all during this, because maybe I missed it, that Greg lost again to me in our baseball pool?
No, I didn't. So
No.
Greg's a loser
Gotcha,
again. And Pat, for how many times in a row?
We've done this for 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 7 years.
7 years running the champion and loser.
3
7
years.
years in a row, the winner right here.
3 years, the loser.
You've won all 7?
All 7 years.
That's rigged. That's fucking fixed, man.
As someone who's on the inside, no, it's not.
There's the funky keyboard.
There it is. It's like George Duke.
Right? All right, so let me get my outro done now that I've made Greg happy and stop bobbing your goddamn head. The scotch glass is empty and the cigar's down to the nub, so I think it's about that time. On behalf of all of us here at Beyond the Humidor, the gorilla in his enclosure, Greg, myself, Larry, and our guest Pat Walsh, thank you for listening. Check us out on LunaCigarCartel.com. Like and share us on Facebook. If Instagram cooperates and doesn't shadow ban us again, or if you're continuing to, you can catch us on Instagram. Either way, don't be a stranger. Drop us a line and let us know you're out there. I'm Scott Robinson, and on behalf of all of us here at Beyond the Humidor, we look forward to chatting with you in the next episode. But until then, stay healthy and safe, and good smoke, good drink, and good life.